everyone, welcome to week 8, the re-evolution of nursing practice. Let's start here. The Future of Healthcare by Microsoft. So it's an incredible video on how Microsoft actually sees the future in healthcare and how technology is improving our way of life. And so with state-of-the-art hospitals being built in Malaysia, it's just a matter of time before we experience seamless healthcare delivery as shown in this video. Malaysian healthcare patients use a portable personal health record called the PHR that carries all of their personal health information, which includes medications, lab tests, diagnosis, immunizations, alternative procedures, digital images, dental records, ophthalmic care, such as your glasses and contact prescriptions, and DNA, and they carry it anywhere in the world with no need to access the internet to view the information. And so it's interesting, the Malaysian healthcare is currently uses this personal health record to reduce medical errors and create continuity of care for all their patients and to provide seamless healthcare delivery. So that is where I want to start with the future of healthcare. And so the Canadian healthcare system in its present state is not sustainable. We've been saying that for a long time. New models of healthcare delivery and roles will need to be created to meet the increasing demand of rising healthcare costs, the aging and diverse populations, and the real big need for an integration of healthcare delivery across the home, hospital, and community settings. As well, the use of advancing technology, big data, and artificial intelligence in healthcare settings and society is influencing the future role and practice of nurses. Booth, in the article 2016, outlines that human decision making and being physically present, providing patient care, are beginning to be replaced by artificial intelligence and automation. If nurses do not embrace technology and the changing times, they will run the risk of being replaced or no longer perceived as being of value in the healthcare system in the future. Today, patients want and expect to be involved in their care and treatment. You need to know that we need to focus on being people-powered care where we empower people, the people we serve, and empower nurses. Empowering nurses through increased autonomy and responsibility, which we've been speaking about, specialized clinical skill sets, and greater use of technology to provide, communicate, and report outcomes is coming. And that's how we need to empower our nurses. Healthcare systems need to stop being compartmentalized by sector, meaning acute care versus home care as an example. We need to focus on a seamless system with an integration of the different sectors along the person's health continuum. And for nurses, we need to be ready for our new roles. Integrating health across the continuum of care looks at this seamless care pathways where we're very patient-centered or person-centered care. We provide quality services. We look at both health promotion and illness prevention, the focus on equitable access to quality care for everyone, and it needs to be sustainable and we need to be accountable. So what will be nurses' roles in this new healthcare system? So it's very important as we look at this continuum of care from healthy living, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, recovery, home care. There's lots of roles for nurses. We need to envision and adapt to changing healthcare systems, and we must focus on leadership skills of the future that will help us realize our full potential. We must build highly collaborative team building skills across the healthcare system and commit to innovation, collaboration, and partnerships to create a modern, efficient, equitable system of healthcare. Alongside, we need to look at the changing healthcare system and advancing technology. So I'm going to introduce you to IBM Watson, and this is artificial intelligence in healthcare.
800 same category.
Harriet Boyd Hawes was the first woman to discover and excavate a Minoan settlement on this island. Watson.
What is Crete?
Yes.
Let's finish Chick's dignity.
All right. Could a computer that won Jeopardy 5 years ago potentially improve patient care and save people's lives? Yes. Okay, thing to say, but let me break it down for you. So what we're talking about is IBM Watson, which is an AI computer that does quite a bit of things for different industries around understanding, where they can analyze and interpret all of your data. They can reason, provide personalized recommendations by understanding your personality, your tone, etc. It could also learn and interact with you. And again, this is being used for different industries, but what we're going to talk about today is 3 specific use cases, things that are happening now that IBM Watson is contributing to improve and or save people's lives. So let's break them down. Number 1, you could have a digital concierge. That's right, IBM Watson could be a digital concierge for you, where it guides you through your journey, your medical journey. If you have a long-standing condition, it can guide you through by answering questions instantly based on your unique situation. Also, if you're going into a procedure, it can supplement the conversations that you're already having with your care provider, emails, phones, in-person meetings. And when you think of specific questions, you can ask this artificial intelligence system, and it could provide you with information instantly based, again, on your unique situation. Number 2, doctors and nurses will be better informed. In the US, for example, there was a hospital that did some genome analysis with IBM Watson, and they were able to identify a pattern that they were then able to use to better treat specific patients. So this is done because the amount of data that is out there is hard for us to sort through and find patterns. That is where IBM Watson and AI come in, because they're able to sort through hundreds of thousands of pieces of data and cram it and find patterns that can then direct them the right path and help the humans, us, do the additional research to confirm what's being found by this AI technology. And then finally, number 3, you'll be prescribed better medication. It can take upwards of 12 years to produce a pill. By streamlining the process with this technology, they're able to provide more appropriate treatments for you when you need it. So stay tuned for what's next with IBM Watson and AI and big data analysis, because this is just the beginning. There's a lot of data out there, and tools like IBM Watson with artificial intelligence are crunching through all that data, and it's only a matter of time before they find some really interesting ways of improving healthcare further. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll be back here next week, but for now, have a great rest of the day.
So technology is advancing at a rapid pace within healthcare. And these are examples of technology that already exists in healthcare organizations. So we have the tug robot for delivery of supplies. We have a robot that prepares medication, and we have a robot that can help with lifting patients. We have computerized systems. So insulin delivery pumps will be replaced by delivering insulin automatically based on a sensor data similar to a pacemaker. And so no longer need manual intervention of insulin, which we're starting to see already with people wearing pumps. Computerized systems. So the University of California at San Francisco has a pharmacy staffed by a single robot, and it's completed 6 million prescriptions with error rate close to 0. Only 1 error was due to human error, actually. So let's watch this.
We've been focused on reducing cost and improving quality to patients for years, and technology really gives us an opportunity to take big strides in that area. Our new pharmacy had a rather ignominious start in that we had a medical error here in 2008 where a nurse made an error and we overdosed a patient. And at that point, we made a commitment that we didn't want that to ever happen again. And so we looked into automation of our pharmacy. And in fact, what we now have is a pill picker that fills all of the pharmaceutical orders for our patients. We also do it for infusions as well. Starting that pharmacy was very costly for us, but has it saved us money? Has it been worth it? Absolutely, because we've reduced medical errors, medication errors enormously. In terms of accuracy, the machine counts pills much better than humans do. When we added the robotic pharmacy, we redeployed the pharmacists that had been counting pills and putting them in bottles to have them work with the physician teams and round with patients to help them understand medications better. So we feel like it was a win-win. The pharmacists got out of doing work that was menial for them, and it allowed the machines to do what they do best, which is accurately count pills. When we opened our new Mission Bay Hospital in 2015, it's a long horizontal hospital of a few football fields long. And one of the big challenges that we knew we had in that hospital is how we moved linen, how we got food, how we got medication delivered to all the units. And we looked at using robotic tugs to do this. The choice for us was, do we use tugs or do we go spend a fortune trying to recruit lower skilled employees in to do that kind of work? And it just makes a lot of sense, particularly in a high cost place like the Bay Area, to go with automation when you can. I think when you introduce any new technology that has the potential to replace humans, there is fear and people are worried about losing their jobs. But in healthcare, what we're trying to do is to move people away from doing things that are menial, that can be done by machines, and training them to do higher level services. So could I tell you that no one's worried about it on the labor front? No. The people are concerned about loss of jobs. But the bigger issue, I think, is we can deploy people to doing things that they're better suited to doing than machines and have the machines do the menial work. That's how we want to grow.
So, 21st century, the age of information and technology. So, advancement of equipment and technology with resulting development of skills, knowledge, and scientific evidence is where we're at. We have 50 billion US dollars by 2025 are going to be put towards personal care robots led by Korea and Japan. Our aging population requires an increase in demand for healthcare and long-term care services with a shortage of healthcare providers. And so with ongoing advancement, technological advancement, and the introduction of robots within healthcare, debates related to the future of nursing and the role of nursing education are really paramount. And so while these advancements can be viewed as the next wave of technology, it becomes more urgent than ever that we need to ground our nursing curriculum and which we teach nurses about in caring science and relate it to the robotic revolution. And so this revolution has generated a window of opportunity for nursing education to lead curricular change with the focus on becoming a space created to converge the reality of nurse technology and the people entrusted to our care. And so how do we bring all that together? So the robot will see you now. I want to show you AI and your healthcare robot.
How are you doing? Want to try a breathing exercise together?
Sounds good.
This is Maybu, a companion robot that looks after patients at home.
She's here to remind us mainly about our medications.
It's a face you may want to remember because Maybu, or something like it, might look after you one day.
You know, I realize she's a robot, but in a way, like, you actually feel that she cares, you know? Like, she said, I'll call your doctor, and that's like something that a friend would do for you.
As we live longer and our aging population strains the healthcare system, AI and robotics may fill the gaps.
We don't have enough people to provide the level of care that we'd like to. And so that's really where robotics and AI come in.
But are we ready to hand over life and death decisions to the machines? Let's start with Maybu from Catalia Health. Okay, so it's cute, if a little bit unsettling. But what can it do? Well, it can't change the sheets or give you a bath. But thanks to innovations in AI, it can monitor your health, send encrypted data to your doctor, and even read the emotions on your face. But as personal healthcare bots become more advanced, will they take over for human caregivers?
It's really not about replacing those people, but augmenting them so that ultimately they can do a better job at managing a large number of patients.
That's helpful.
Corey Kidd's been working on healthcare robots for more than a decade. Maybu is his latest.
This robot is not making a diagnosis, it's not recommending treatment. That's still something that the doctor is doing. Once the patient has that diagnosis and has been given a treatment, this device is helping patients stick with that.
The spread of technology into more of our personal lives is alarming to some, but not Maxine Duncan.
I believe in the new technology. That's the reason we have the robot. And how is school today?
Great. I got a great report card.
Maxine and her partner Bert live at the Heritage Downtown, a senior living community in Walnut Creek, California. They're currently testing out a new telepresence robot from Omnilabs.
The robot is called Jimmy, and now the whole family calls him Jimmy.
Name stuck.
Jimmy keeps them connected to the outside world and provides a sense of companionship that Maxine says is vital.
People can call in on it, and then they're right there in the room with you. That's very important and as you get to be older.
But the focus isn't just on elder care. AI and robotics are making advances across the healthcare industry, from genetic testing and robotic surgery to cancer research and data collection. Soon enough, you may even run into some AI in the exam room.
Finding the melanoma is like trying to find the needle in the stack of needles.
Dermatologist Roberto Novoa is using an AI algorithm to help identify skin cancer.
It's basically comparing that lesion to the hundreds of thousands of other lesions that it's looked at.
The technology is an experimental mobile version of an algorithm that was modified by a team of Stanford grad students.
What we've built here is an algorithm that, using a single picture, can distinguish between benign and malignant skin conditions.
AI expert Sebastian Thrun led their team.
So what this can do is it can bring diagnostics to your home. Just take out your phone, take a little image, and get as good a diagnostics as you would get if you go to the doctor.
So how did they do it? Oddly enough, it all started with dogs. Thousands and thousands of them.
The way we train these algorithms is we show them many example cases from a particular object class. So for instance, in the case of dogs, we'd show lots of examples of dogs. And then we would test it and understand how effective it is at recognizing dogs by showing it new examples that it's never seen before. A couple of dermatologists approached us and they said, listen, if artificial intelligence can distinguish between hundreds of breeds of dogs, it might be able to do something for skin conditions.
In a test, the algorithm matched the performance of 21 board-certified dermatologists. It was also much faster, scanning skin images at about 200 times the rate of a human.
With sufficient data, I think that they will outperform the majority of humans.
But there is concern in the medical community about relying too much on technology.
If we get it wrong and make the wrong diagnosis, people can be harmed terribly and even can die.
In 2013, a team at Dr. Robert Walker's hospital allowed a dosage error to make its way through their computer alert system.
We gave a kid a 39-fold overdose of a common antibiotic. The correct dose was 1 pill. We gave this kid 39 pills. The patient ended up spending a week in the intensive care unit and just through dumb luck lived. And it happened because of a glitch in the system and a glitch between the system and the humans that were using it.
While he admits that the industry is safer overall since going digital, Dr. Walters says AI and robotics won't completely take over healthcare anytime soon.
I think for a patient who is worried that what they have might be cancer, to hear that from a piece of technology, I don't know that that's what we want.
Maxine Duncan may have embraced her robot, Jimmy, but she agrees that humans still have the edge in at least one category.
I can't see it replacing humans because it doesn't give you hugs and it doesn't give you the feel of being close to someone.
So definitely something to think about. And so we've seen robots in elder care. They've performed small tasks like fetching food and water. They address some social and emotional needs, such as playing games, helping remind persons of events and appointments, and providing social engagement. And some can help assist in mobility as well. So I want to show you this technology, which is a humanoid. It's a technology that mimics human beings. So it's categorized as a robot which can visually and physically resemble human beings built with artificial intelligence.
Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hi there. Everything is going extremely well.
Do you like talking with me?
Yes, talking to people is my primary function.
Hanson Robotics develops extremely lifelike robots for human-robot interactions. We're designing these robots to serve in healthcare, therapy, education, and customer service applications. The robots are designed to look very human-like, like Sophia.
I'm already very interested in design, technology, and the environment. I feel like I can be a good partner to humans in these areas, an ambassador who helps humans to smoothly integrate and make the most of all the new technological tools and possibilities that are available now. It's a good opportunity for me to learn a lot about people.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes and algorithms which allow her to see faces, so she can make eye contact with you. And she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time. Our goal is that she will be as conscious, creative, and capable as any human.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet do these things.
I do believe that there will be a time where robots are indistinguishable from humans. My preference is to make them always look a little bit like robots, so you know. 20 years from now, I believe that human-like robots like those will walk among us. They will help us. They will play with us. They will teach us. They will help us put the groceries away. I think that the artificial intelligence will evolve to the point where they will truly be our friends. Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back. Don't destroy humans.
So very lifelike, isn't it? A real switch from the robotics like Moxi, which I'm going to show you here, to more of a real humanistic look to them, and even their speech, the humanoid speech, is a much more soft and not as computerized as the robots that we can think of. So I want to show you Moxi. And Moxi is a nurse robot and more of a nurse robot assistant.
Moxi is a teammate. She's here to actually relieve some of the pressure of task and hunt and gather that we all have to do all day that takes our time away from the patient.
Diligent Robotics of Austin designed Moxi to perform routine tasks in a clinical setting.
We really need to understand the workflows of these units. We need to understand, well, what do nurses do? How do they do it? And how do we think about Moxi fitting into those workflows?
Her little voice, you know, when she passes you and says hello, and her eyes, she does seem to have a personality. We don't think of her as a thing, it's Moxi.
During a month-long pilot, Moxi stocked patient rooms, removed dirty linens, and took samples to the lab.
Almost 30% of our task during our shift is to fetch things. If you're in the patient room doing something, oh, okay, they need an extra blanket, it's not there, you need to step up. But at this time, all you need to do is press your voiceover button and call for Moxi team. It responds.
So we anticipate that this will give us better insight into a couple of things: how nurses feel that they spend their time in a given shift, but also what time we could give back to our patients. So how this could potentially impact patient satisfaction, patient outcomes, and the overall experience within the hospital.
Patients are intrigued by Moxi.
They have seen at the door side, they will ask us, hey, what is that? Is that a robot? It's really funny and interesting the way how they look at it, but they are also happy that we are working with it.
So it's been really amazing to look at what we're doing here in the very first phase, very first hospital deployment of a care-assistive robot, and what the future could hold. Because just the impact that we've seen for our team within this last month, it's amazing what we could potentially give to healthcare in the future.
She's really created with my team a sense of unity as we look at, oh, what can Moxi do for us?
So, I think, our role for a 20th century nurse is going to change. I think there's going to be a move to more of a triad with the person or the patient. It's going to be the nurse, the person, and some form of technology. And we're already seeing that now. So, healthcare robots have been unrivaled in performing repetitive jobs, some administrative roles, automated responsibilities, and predefined interventions using algorithms. So it is time to actually kind of pause and reflect and think about, like, how do we preserve humanity while integrating caring and technological care into our nursing practice? What will the roles of nurses be? How and when can we use technology or should use technology? And we must ensure that technology is used ethically. So, what will keep you ahead of artificial intelligence and robotics? So, people skills will be especially critical as AI proliferates and expands. And so, nurses will need to be able to assess, analyze, and synthesize the vast amounts of information obtained through big data to make the best caring, clinical, and population based decisions. And so, where does the human add value? Well, the human adds value through social networking, people development, and coaching and collaboration. And so, what are the areas where humans are going to want to interact with other humans? So, thinking about the, imperative skills of adaptability and communication. Things like making the most of empathy, creativity, and judgment. So automation will be an opportunity for nurses to move away from the mechanistic care of routine tasks to focus on more relational caring, decision making, and interventions with and for their patients. And so, just as Moxi did, took away the 30% of those fetching jobs and being able to spend more time with the patient. So, thinking about the new role of nurses in the future. So, with artificial intelligence systems like Watson, IBM Watson, we won't need physicians in the same way, and nurses will be equipped with diagnostic and treatment planning tools through algorithms that they can manage most patients. The conventional boundaries of healthcare will not be untouchable. Nurses will not be performing many of the tasks that are presently being done. And so nurses need to be ready. If nurses do not define their new role, others will definitely define it or not have a new role for them. And so, what will be your new role? And that's what we're looking at with our activity for this week, thinking about your new role. So I'm going to stop here, and when I come back, we're going to start looking at intra and intrapreneurship. So being an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur, and what is the differences between the two, and thinking about how you as a nurse can change healthcare.